You know, ladies and gentlemen, when you say you have a good mother who supports you, encourages you, and no matter what you do, you can go far. And when John Bon Jovi became a superstar, not say literally overnight, but because of support from his family and friends and touring in kind of the early to mid 1980s, he had spoken about the power of his mother in saying they could support us, saying how she supported him. And he called her a force to be reckoned with. Unfortunately, the sad news came across the pike on Tuesday, July 9th, that his mother, Carol Bongiovi, had passed away 3 days short of her 84th birthday. Now, his mother was just such a tremendous force, a veteran, a model, former Playboy bunny, an entrepreneur, a developer, tremendous. Now, according to People magazine, Bon Jovi, who's now 62, told People in a statement on behalf of the family, "Our mother was a force to be reckoned with. Her spirit and can-do attitude shaped his family. She will be greatly missed." Aside from being the founder of his son's Eptimo's band's fan club, Carroll was an entrepreneur operating several businesses. The Erie, Pennsylvania native and Playboy bunny enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps in 1959, where she served her country honorably and met her future husband, John. The couple later moved to Sayreville, New Jersey, where she and her husband raised her family. They later settled in Holmdel, New Jersey, where she resided until her death. Now, her maiden name was Sharkey. Obviously, interesting word because she shook things up when she basically. I saw her on MTV many years ago. He interviewed her. He said, "What do you think about your son?" He said, "It's a team effort all the way. We love what's going on." Now, while speaking with the big issue in November 2020, Bon Jovi credited his parents with giving him the ability to make the dream a reality. Even if you truly weren't any good at your craft, if you believe you were, you could work on it, he said. As I got older, I realized there was a great gift that I got from my folks. They truly believed in the John Kennedy mantra of going to the moon. Yeah, of course, you can go to the moon, just go, Johnny. And there I went. The musician recalled how his parents supported his dreams by allowing him to take gigs when he was only 17. They were always supportive of me, which in retrospect was incredible. Because I could get home at 1 or 2 in the morning and have to still be in school by 8 o'clock. He just said, show up on time for school, you know that's your responsibility, but pursue your dream. Now, Carol is survived by her husband of 63 years, their 3 sons and daughters-in-law, Dorothea and John Bon Jovi, Anthony and Nina Yang Bon Jovi, and Matthew and Desiree Bon Jovi, as well as 8 loving grandchildren. All funeral services will be private, and Holmdel Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what's interesting about her passing, it's really hitting home with a lot of people because you would see them take photos together and the amount of pride they showed in the photos to each other. Like Carol be smiling at John, John be smiling at Carol, like it was an inside joke meant to say this is if you like John Bon Jovi or you hate John Bon Jovi, this is the reason why. Now, according to Laura Jackson's 2004 book, John Bon Jovi, the biography, Carol bought John his first guitar at age 7 and encouraged him to follow his musical dreams. Again, she earned herself the nickname as Mom Jovi. Again, what I got from my parents was the ability to make the dream a reality. Now, there's various video and photos of them together sharing great moments. And what's interesting about this, ladies and gentlemen, John Bon Jovi is just as important in 2024 as he was late 70s, early 80s. There's a lot of mature women and mature men who grew up in the music knowing that John Bon Jovi was a big influence on that early career. John Bon Jovi looked good. The band played well. They were a party band. For people that had fractured English, it was very simple songs you could understand. The music was tremendous. Now, when John was born in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, again, his mother again also was a florist and Playboy bunny. The entrepreneur side of her passed on to him. His father was of Italian Slovak ancestry, And the name Bon Jovi came from Siaka, Sicily. His mother is of German and Russian descent. While he was previously rumored to be a relative of singer Frank Sinatra, in a 2016 interview, he stated that this was false. Now, she always encouraged him in school. He was raised Catholic and attended St. Joseph's High School in Metuchen, New Jersey, during his freshman and sophomore years. Now, he began playing music in 1974 when he formed his first band, Rays, and took part in a talent contest at his school. And of course, at 16, he formed a band called Atlantic City Expressway and was joined by David Bryan, who would later become a member of the John Bon Jovi band. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh yeah, by the way, Millie Bobby Brown is his daughter-in-law, by the way, in case you were wondering. More entertainment connection. Now, the idea about the passing, there's going to be more details on the funeral and the celebration of his mother's life very soon. Again, we're mentioning the fact that John Bon Jovi just didn't come from anywhere. He came from a family that was supportive. By the way, this is a lesson that we all must learn. If you see a child getting into certain things, art, makeup, layout, photos, writing, whatever, encourage them. I had very little encouragement from members of my family to be a journalist. It wasn't their fault. The majority couldn't read or write. But the people I went to school with, by grade 4, there was one guy in class who always said, when you grow up, you talk an awful lot, you know a lot, maybe you should be a journalist. The biggest mentor I had was in 1976, a gentleman from my home region of Gravelly and Lorne, who would always come to the house and said, "You're watching TV all the time. I'd like to see you be up there as one of those journalists." And he did pass away in 1976, but the words he said, probably John Bon Jovi's mother said to him, "Never give up on your dreams." This is not a cliche. So this podcast is for our good friend of the New Brunswick Independent Authors Association, Sylvie Mazerow, one of the best photographers in the province. She's a big fan of John Bon Jovi. Maybe she doesn't know much about John's mother, and I hope this informs her and other people the importance of, no matter if you're John Bon Jovi or Joe Blow down the street, you got to have a good mom and dad support you, because they've been through the wars. My mom and dad always said, be what you want to be. My dad was a lumberjack and my mother was a housewife. They had no indication. They were good photographers, but they had no indication the level of success I would have as a journalist. We never saw it coming. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, John Bon Jovi will be touring numerous venues across North America in the next few weeks. Don't know if any parts of the tour will be delayed or augmented, but again, our condolences goes out to John's family. I can imagine the conversation. Tell me about your mother. Well, she's a florist. She's a Playboy model. She's a veteran. She was a Marine. She's the head of my fan club. I don't think ever John Bon Jovi was ever ripped off, and all the time. It's hard to believe, like a completely good, well-adjusted superstar like John Bon Jovi. Anyway, so the best way to tribute John Bon Jovi, if you are a parent listening to this, be like John Bon Jovi's mother. Support your kids. They'll love you for it. Have a good one. Bye.